Today, we're going to dive into a really powerful Hindi fairy tale. It's called Maa Ka Pyar, which translates to a mother's love. Now, on the surface, it seems like a simple story, but wow, it really unpacks some complex feelings about one of the most fundamental relationships we have, the one between a mother and her daughter.
So, the whole story really boils down to this one big question. And it's a tough one, right? It's probably something a lot of us don't stop to think about nearly often enough, but it definitely hits close to home for many of us.
All right, let's meet our main character, Alicia. And look, from the outside, her life is pretty much perfect. She's got it all. Good grades, friends, a family that loves her. But you know how it is. It's in those little everyday moments where you start to see a pattern taking shape.
And what's kind of striking is how normal this all feels. I mean, she grabs her mom's dress for a presentation, bolts out the door without touching the breakfast her mom made, and then casually asks for a special lemonade to be made just for her. Oh, and of course, she pushes off her turn to do the dishes so she can go play badminton. Any one of these things on its own, not a huge deal. But when you put them all together, yeah, it starts to paint a picture, doesn't it? A picture of some casual entitlement.
So you'd think her mom would be a little annoyed, right? But nope. How does she react to all this? With absolutely nothing but love and support. As Alicia is running out the door in her dress, her mom's only response is to wish her luck. There's no anger, no frustration, just pure, unconditional encouragement. And that right there, that sets the stage for everything that's about to happen.
Okay, so this is where the story takes a really sharp turn. A new student named Sandra shows up, and her arrival is basically the catalyst that forces Alicia to see her own life, and especially her own mother, through a completely different and frankly, shocking lens.
And wow, talk about a stark contrast. Just look at this. Alicia's biggest problem of the day is finding the right dress. Meanwhile, Sandra's worries were, well, literally about getting enough food to eat and just surviving abuse. Alicia is asking for special treatment. Sandra was just desperate for her basic needs to be met. We're talking about two completely different worlds colliding.
So that really makes you wonder, right? What does happen when a kid's most basic needs just aren't there? As Sandra starts to open up, she reveals a world that Alicia has never, ever had to even imagine. A world where that safety net of a mother's unconditional love is just gone.
This is a direct quote from Sandra herself, and it is absolutely chilling. She doesn't just say her time in foster care was difficult or sad. She says her life was hell. I mean, what a brutal, powerful way to sum up years and years of trauma.
And this wasn't just a single bad event. It was a relentless pattern of cruelty. As a little kid, she was denied food simply because she didn't like peas. Can you imagine? Another time, she was called a thief just for glancing at her foster mother's brooch. This wasn't discipline, it was systematic, soul-crushing abuse. Thank goodness her foster mom's brother, her kind uncle, finally stepped in and adopted her. And as if all that wasn't enough, this was the foster mother's parting shot. Imagine being a child and hearing the person who's supposed to care for you say they would have preferred a dog. I mean, those words just reveal the complete and total absence of love or compassion in her early life. So, as you can imagine, hearing Sandra's story is like a light switch just flips inside Alicia's head. Suddenly, the casual, comfortable life she's always known is thrown into this incredibly sharp relief. Her entire perspective on everything has changed forever, especially how she sees her mother.
And this change isn't just something she's thinking about, it shows up in her actions immediately. She returns the dress with a thank you. She does the dishes, yep, the same ones she blew off earlier, without anyone saying a word. She even orders takeout to give her mom a break. She's starting to anticipate her mom's needs instead of just focusing on her own.
But here's the funny, kinda ironic twist. Her parents? They don't see this as newfound appreciation at all. They're totally confused. Her sudden independence and helpfulness is so out of character that they actually start to worry she's pulling away from them, that maybe she's grown up too fast and doesn't need them anymore. They completely misread the whole situation.
So all of this confusion leads to this really important heart-to-heart between Alicia and her mom. Alicia is trying to apologize for being so annoying all the time, and this is the moment her mom delivers the story's most profound and beautiful lesson.
Her mom just completely reframes the whole thing for her. She explains that what Alicia saw as being an annoyance was actually a sign of deep trust. Asking for that lemonade, borrowing that dress, that wasn't a burden. It was an act of confidence, that unspoken belief that your parent will love you no matter what you do or what you ask for.
And to really drive the point home, she reminds Alicia of a time when Alicia actually gave up a school trip to stay home because her mom was sick. Her mom says, "See, I never saw that as a burden on you. To me, that was an act of love." It works both ways. You know, caring for each other is the foundation of everything.
And this is how she just redefines their entire dynamic. They're not just a parent and a child following a bunch of rules. No, she says their love is so strong that they've become something more. They've become like friends. Friends who can rely on each other, trust each other, and yes, even annoy each other without any fear.
And just like that, with that new understanding, all the tension just breaks. Alicia finally gets it, the difference between taking love for granted and simply trusting in that love. And what's her first move? She immediately goes back to being her playful self. It's this beautiful, funny moment that shows their relationship isn't just repaired, it's actually stronger and more honest than ever.
So the story leaves us with this final thought to chew on. Maybe true appreciation isn't about being perfectly behaved or never asking for anything. Maybe it's about understanding that deep, unbreakable trust that allows us to be our imperfect, sometimes annoying selves, knowing that we are loved anyway. What do you think?